Now we're going to tether into a Sony a7R II. This is a micro USB connection, so it goes in real easy. But the thing that you'll want to notice is when you plug a new camera in sometimes, in the Apple operating system, this machine is running El Capitan, you get photos launching automatically, and it's not readily apparent how to stop it from doing that. And actually you have to go to image capture, select the camera, and then go down to the bottom and say connecting this camera opens, and switch it to no application. And unfortunately you have to do this for every new camera that you attach in a tether. As long as it's not, the medium format cameras, once you tell it for one, no matter which camera you connect to, it realizes it. But for each new camera type, you have to disable it in photo, or rather in image capture, in order that photo doesn't launch automatically. There is an extra caveat when you're first tethering into a Sony camera, in that in the menu selection, you have to go to, on the very right side, there's a toolbox. It looks like a toolbox. And in the fourth setting, you have to select the USB connection and set it to PC remote. If that's not set to PC remote, the camera will not tether. So this is a USB 2 type connection. And what you'll notice when you're shooting this camera, there's a lot of megapixels in this camera, and it's stressing the system to try to get the images into Capture One. So from the sense of tethered workflow, you can tether, you can get the files into the system, but it's not optimal when it comes to having someone, having a client at your workstation wanting to see the shots as they arrive, if it's any kind of a dynamic set you have going on. Of course, if it's a still life set, and you can wait the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds to get a shot in, no big deal. But this is not your fashion setup if you're tethering into Capture One. You'll notice that there is additional camera data that shows up in Capture One, but compared to medium format and compared to the Canon that we've shown so far, much less information. Although you can still get to some of the features you need to. So I can change the shutter speed, I can change the ISO sensitivity, flash, whether I'm capturing into RAW and JPEG, and the levels of JPEG. But that's pretty much it. You can get to seeing, you don't have battery indications, and pretty much just the serial number beyond that. So between the lack of robustness in this connection and the lack of camera-based data that comes across here, this is a camera you're pretty much still fully involving yourself with here and not able to control through Capture One. As demonstrated by this progression going from medium format to 35mm and now to this mirrorless system, it demonstrates the differences in having the right tool for what the project is you're working on. And even though this is a new, lovely camera with wonderful optics, it still really is limited because of this USB 2 based connection. And that's the only connection you can use to tether in, compared to using USB 3 that has, I think, at the order of 10 times more data throughput. And it shows. You are hobbled shooting tethered with a camera like this, as wonderful as it is. This is a camera best suited for slow capturing if you're tethering, or shooting to the internal card and dumping the card later into Capture One. That wraps up our initial setup. Next we're going to move into hardware troubleshooting.